Hello, boys and girls. It is Miss Oates, and today we're going to be going over bar graphs and picture graphs. So let's go ahead and get started. First up, let's go over our I can statements. So there's quite a list, so make sure you're following along. I can collect data to display in a bar graph or picture graph. I can compare data in tally charts, tables, picture graphs, and bar graphs. I can interpret graphs by reading and comparing the data shown in the graph. I can complete a picture graph and a bar graph. I can create a bar graph from a given set of data, and then I can solve addition and subtraction word problems within 20 based on data. And then, of course, our focus standard for this video is 2.MD.10. Draw a picture graph and a bar graph to represent a data set with up to 4 categories. Solve word problems to presented in a bar graph. Woo, tongue full. All right, well, let's talk about some of our math vocabulary that goes with this particular lesson. So we have data. So data is a set of collected information usually gathered through observation, surveys, or measurements. So for example, boys and girls, you go online, a lot of times it will pop up, or if you go to a store like Walmart, a lot of the times they'll go up to you and say, hey, if you fill out this survey online, you can win $1,000 or win a $1,000 gift card. Well, what they're doing on that survey is they're collecting data. They're collecting data on how well the store is doing, how well that particular cashier did a good job serving you. And the reason why we collect all of this data, or stores do, is because they want to make sure that they're doing their absolute best to make customers happy. Right now, it is an election time, and you will see lots of graphs and data on the news telling you who's going to win the election, or this is the way people are feeling about this right now. You may have also collected data in your classroom by asking your classmates, like, what is your favorite pet? What's your favorite food? What type of school lunch is your least favorite? So when we collect all of that data, we're gathering up all that information, and we want to display it in some sort of way, which is where bar graphs and picture graphs come from. Another way that we use this data is we use it to compare. So when we compare something, we try to decide if amounts or the sizes are greater than, less than, or equal to each other. So for example, if I was asking you what was your least favorite school lunch, I may compare it to what was your favorite school lunch to see what would be the difference in the least or greatest part. All right, a picture graph is a data display in which pictures are used to show data. So look at this example right here. So this is favorite pets, and as we can see, we see cats, dogs, and mice. And each of these pictures represents one student whose favorite pet is that animal. So for cats, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 kids like cats. That's their favorite pet, while 4 people like dogs as their favorite pet. A bar graph is a data display in which bars are used to show the number of items in each category. So unlike a picture graph, in a bar graph, it's just a rectangular bar that shows the favorite. So this is actually the same graph as the picture graph, but this time it's displayed in a bar graph. And as you can see, each line represents a certain number. And then, of course, we have our labels down here, so the categories. So cats, dogs, and mice. And even looking at this graph, we can see that 10 kids like cats as their favorite pets, while only 4 kids like dogs as their favorite pets as well. So let's go ahead and practice. So we're going to be looking at this picture graph, and then we're going to be answering some questions with it. So our first question is, how many more kids prefer cats than mice? So again, going up and looking at the picture graph, I can go all the way up and see that 10 kids like cats, while only 6 kids like mice. So if I want to know how many more kids like cats than mice, I'm going to be looking for the difference. So I'm going to be subtracting. So 10 minus 6 would equal 4. So that means 4 more kids prefer cats over mice. All right. In this graph, this question's asking us how many total children took this survey. So remember what I said in the picture graph when we were talking about what a picture graph is. I said each one of these pictures represents one kid. So if I wanted to find the total number of children who took this survey, I need to know how many is a favorite in each category. So let me go down. I know that 10 kids liked cats the best. And then 4 kids like dogs the best as their favorite pets. And then 6 kids liked mice as their favorite. And so since I'm trying to find the total, I need to add up these numbers. So I need to add up 10, 4, and 6 together. Well, I know that 4 and 6, when I put them together, is 10. And so if I add that 10 to 10 together, that means 20 children took this survey. All right, let's look at this picture graph. Now, this is a picture graph, but this time, instead of going horizontal like this, side by side, they have the pictures going up. So they want to know how many horses and cows are on the farm. So this is a picture graph representing animals on Old McDonald's farm. So let me go down to the horses category and let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 horses in Old McDonald's farm, and then it says and cows. So usually when I'm seeing and, that means I'm going to be adding them up together. So let me see how many cows there are. 1, 2. Ooh, there's 2 cows. So that means 4 plus 2 equals 6. So there's a total of 6 horses and cows on Old McDonald's farm. Okay? So now this question says, how many more cows and roosters are on the farm than sheep? So this is a 2-step word problem. So I'm going to go ahead and divide my paper in half, and I'm going to put step 1 and step 2 at the bottom. Well, for step 1, I need to figure out how many cows and roosters there are all together. So let's see. There are 2 cows. And then there are 3 roosters. So when I add 2 plus 3 together, that is going to be 5. So I'm going to circle that 5 to bring that down to step 2. And now I need to compare the number of cows and roosters than there are sheep. Well, looking at this graph right here, there's only 1 little sheep. So I'm going to take 5 from 1, and my answer is going to be 4. So that means there are 4 more cows and roosters than sheep on the farm. Okay, here is a bar graph. So looking at this bar graph, my question is, how many kids' favorite cereal was Life and Kix? Again, I'm seeing Life and Kix, so that means I'm going to be adding. So let's see how many kids preferred Life cereal. Looks like 6. All right, well, how many kids prefer Kick cereal? Ooh, it's kind of right there at the middle. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use my mouse, and I'm going to draw my mouse to where it says right here. Looks like 3 kids prefer Kix cereal. So that means I'm going to be adding those up because they want to know they want to know how many kids' favorite cereal was Life and Kix. So 6 plus 3 is going to be 9. So that means 9 kids like Life and Kix cereal. All right. How many kids like cornflakes over Cheerios? Okay, so this time I'm comparing how many kids liked cornflakes better than Cheerios. So let me go down and look at my bar graph. There's the cornflakes, is that yellow? I'm going to go move my mouse all the way to the top, and I'm going to go over next door. Let's see, there's 4 kids preferred cornflakes. Well, how many kids like Cheerios? Again, I'm going to take my mouse, go all the way up to the top of the Cheerios bar graph, and I'm going to follow that line to that number, and it looks like 2. Well, if I'm trying to compare how many kids like cornflakes over Cheerios, then that means that I'm going to be subtracting. So 4 minus 2 is going to be 2, which means 2 kids prefer cornflakes over Cheerios. And that is it, boys and girls, for going over pictures and bar graphs. Make sure when you're using picture graphs and bar graphs that you read them very, very carefully because each graph is going to be a little bit different. All right, boys and girls, I'll see you next time. Bye.